It is the test on us, whether we are part of it or on the side. The worst enemies of Islam, it's the Muslims. It's the way we behave, the way we react. And these media look for that opportunity to exploit it and say, well, these are the Muslims behaving. And if we remain on the side, thinking that others will do the work and we will be free from it, then we are living in a mistaken world.
Question from the sisters, please, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Brother, my question is that as we all know, freedom of speech is given as a right to the journalist and the writers. So what are the limits for this freedom of speech? Are there any limits for it?
Of course, sister, freedom of speech is not in its absolute sense anywhere of the world. Even under the Indian Constitution, I think it's the Article 10 or Article 12, which was applied in 1988 to ban the book satanic verses, because it says freedom of expression, yes, but the issues of morality, issues of other aspects needs to be brought in. There is a part of it as well. So there is never freedom of expression to in the absolute sense. And this is the argument we are using all the time. That yes, we understand and respect that everybody has to say, but at the same time we have to understand what is right. So yes, the answer is simple, that there are always limits. There is never an absolute case. There are laws in different parts of the world. As I mentioned earlier, the issues of law of defamation, libel laws, that restricts you. You can't defame a person's family, a living person. The laws will take you to the courts. Sadly, there is a concerted attempt to ensure law on vilification or sacrilege is not adopted. The Muslim countries in the OIC did pass a resolution to put a convention on vilification, on muqaddasat at the UN. Some progress has been made, but until today, we do not have an international convention like the International Convention on Human Rights and other conventions that are in place. That should be the ultimate aim of us, so that inshallah will give us some protection.
Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Talat. I am from Nagpur. My question is, what is the punishment of sacrilege in Sharia? And we have the Muslim law in India. So which Indian Muslim group went to Supreme Court of India, or which international group went to World International Court against maybe Taslima Nasreen or Salman Rushdie?
Well, brother, as I mentioned earlier on, that I'm not a scholar, neither in law or in Islam, but I know in certain, for example, in the UK where I come from, yes.
We have heard from different fatwas. That's why I'm asking, what does Sharia guides?
Well, the issue of Shatamun Nabi, which is the denigrating the personality of the Prophet ﷺ, is indeed a capital offense as far as the consensus, the ijma of the ulamas are concerned. But this is an issue that can only be tried in a Muslim jurisdiction. There are clear issues. Even in Islamic country, when someone commits an act of sacrilege, Shatamun Nabi, there are processes that goes by. And, Islam's issue of justice is very strong and very clear. And therefore, I cannot comment much because I'm not really aware of the internal, but generally, by and large, in the Western secular countries, there is no such protection against blasphemy at the moment.
Jazakallah.
Question from the sisters, please.
My name is Tanzila Lapur and I'm a student. My question is that, is it because of the Zionists and the USA that there are always puppet regimes as the head of Muslim countries?
Well, I think when the Muslim leadership is weak and when Muslim countries do not have the faith in their own religion, in the Creator, in the Holy Book, as a source of direction, as a source where it gives them protection, and they turn, then of course Allah says very clearly that if you are not closer to me, if you do not want to hear what I have to say, then of course you at your own peril. And we have seen the suffering, the pain, the humiliation of many of our Muslim countries. And it's a matter of time. We have seen that over a period of time, the same regimes are no longer there. And we hope and pray that it is important that the Muslim countries adhere to the teachings of Islam, not just for the success of their own countries, but for the unity of the Muslim Ummah around the world.
Jazakallah.
Next question from the brothers, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Muhammad Shafiuddin. Brother, can you confirm me the authenticity of the news which I read a few days before, that in the UK there are non-Muslim brothers are coming for their dispute in respect of commercial settlement and family domestic violence, coming for the solution to the Sharia committee for their solutions. How far it is, this news is correct?
Yes, there is some truth in that.
Day by day, the strength is increasing. More and more are coming.
Yeah. You see, there are various tribunals and arbitrations that take place. Within the law, a provision is given. And we have seen that under the Islamic finance, for example, Islamic banks have been established where non-Muslims are now preferring to take their bank and facilities under the Islamic bank because of the ethical system of finance that is there. Likewise, on the family disputes, there is a provision within the law that we have to stick to the main law of the country. But like the Jews, they have been given the right to arbitrate, and within the teachings of their faith, the Islamic laws can be applied in terms of the family disputes as well. And yes, there have been cases, but of course, when the scholars are dealing with it, you need to be clear whether how applicable it is to a Muslim and non-Muslim as well. So that I'm not able to answer. But point in principle is yes, that issues of fairness, issues of justice, issues of ethicalness in a way we deal with it, there are people who do come to that area. Yes.
Next question from the sisters, please.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I am Yasmin Khan. I am a lecturer in physics. In India, Muslims are made to feel apologetic about two or three things. We have taken care of satanic verses and one more thing, that is the Shah Banu case. But in India, when we go for Hajj pilgrimage, there is a subsidy which the government gives. So for that subsidy, all the non-Muslims make the Muslims feel apologetic about it, that okay, the government is paying you money to carry on with your religious activities. Shah Banu case and the satanic verses, the ulemas have taken care of it. But as far as this issue is concerned, that is, no one is coming forward to protest that you are not supposed to pay for going for Hajj pilgrimage. So how do we go about it? That is, if we want to go for pilgrimage, how do we, we have to take the subsidy and go.
Well, sister, I cannot directly comment on that particular issue of Hajj subsidy that has been given to Muslims. But I think the key point that you raised about being apologetic, this is another tragedy of the Muslim community. That at times we bend backwards to try to prove the point of a clear point, of a point of justice, of without any doubt, it's there. When we are attacked, you are the person who has been attacked. So I'm the one who has been oppressed. The oppressor is there. Sometimes being apologetic in the way as though you're trying to defend your faith. Well, but it was done at that time. The religion laws were passed 1400 years ago and this and that. You are not just disheartening your own iman in many ways, but the message that goes across to the Muslim community, we suffer in the collective manner. Our deen is so strong that we have to be firm and clear where we stand. What is right is right. What is wrong is wrong. And if we are defending the honor and the integrity of the Prophet ﷺ, we must be firm and clear about it. There's no shame in doing it. And we have found that the more clear, the greater respect we get is when we are honest to ourselves, and particularly honest to our Creator. So, as citizens of the country, there are certain rights you have. We are taxpayers in this country. And I'm not sure whether this is a privilege given to Muslims only, or when people of other faith have their own other events.
It is given to all faiths. It's given to all faiths.
So fine. So you are part of the citizens of the nation. And you have got the same right in terms of your tax paying and whatever. In UK, for example, we had the same situation where our British government assists us in sending a Hajj delegation. So we have got a Hajj delegation in the UK, sponsored by the Foreign Office. Government pays for it. We don't pay, but we, the Hujjaj from the UK, benefit. So there's nothing wrong with it. We pay tax like any other people pay. It is benefit for the, because when we come out, we are hopefully haven't got any illnesses. The doctors have looked after us. So when we come back, we will not spread any other viruses in the country. It is in the interest. If the government doesn't support us, we will still go there and we'll perform our Hajj. But when we come back, we may bring in other viruses or others, and the society may suffer. So, you know, they've got their own interest what they're doing. And this is part of a norm in a civilized society, that you respect and provide protection and support to all the citizens, irrespective of their faith, cultural or ethnic background.
Thank you, sir.
The Spirit of Islam, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Saudi Arabia and 6 p.m. UAE on Peace TV. A man, a mission, a world-renowned orator on Islam and comparative religion. He dedicated more than 5 decades of his life for dawah. Ahmad Deedat.
We Muslims believe that Jesus was the Christ. This book is an eternal book of guidance for you and for me, for the whole of mankind. It's a solution to the problems of mankind. The miracle is when you expect a man to be dead and he's alive. That's a miracle.
Man with a Mission. Every Sunday to Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Saudi Arabia and 7:30 p.m. UAE on Peace TV. A man of character and faith in Allah.
How did your journey begin?
I could have dreamt of becoming the best doctor in the world. But the turning point in my life was when I met Sheikh Ahmad Deedat.
With outstanding dedication.
I've dedicated myself fully, honorary, voluntary, for the sake of spreading the message of peace.
With extraordinary determination.
Was there any planning involved?
There was no planning from my side, it was planning from God's side.
With crystal clear vision.
Besides being a good Muslim, it's the duty of a Muslim that they should spread the message of peace throughout the world.
Watch Dr. Zakir striving with excellence the impeccable journey in life as he surmounts and overcomes challenges and threats in the way of spreading the truth of Islam worldwide. In Dr. Zakir, His Story. Next on Peace TV.
Question from the brothers, please.
Sir, I am G. Nabi Loan from the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I have a question. Satanic versus sacrilege started from the misinterpretation of the Surah Najm in Holy Quran, and thereafter your good self stated that sacrilege in any case is unacceptable in each society, and it must be so. But we see that Salman Rushdie, or for that matter, Ms. Taslima Nasreen, is all okay, moving here and there. Even Muslims are not being permitted to take them to the courts of the law because they have the shelter some way or the other. My question is that where should be the bottom line for such cases? Is there any agency in UK, especially those of Muslims, who wish to take Mr. Rushdie to the court and decide the matter for the common benefit? Thank you.
First of all, you have raised 2 issues. Rushdie mentioned that it was a book of fiction. if you study the book of fiction, you find the references to the verses relating to historical time, and our ulamas have very clearly come up that this is nothing new. In the past, Orientalists, others have used the same verses in trying to give different message. So as far as theologically is concerned, of course, he himself said it's a fiction. There was no reference to any religious authority or book or whatever. But in terms of the...
But they say that every fiction is a true story.
Yeah, well, I mean, references were given, and that's where the whole dispute occurred, because he was using those names and in a very derogatory manner. But the point is that he was challenged in the court of law, and there was a legal action that was taken against the book. But unfortunately, because the issue of Islam was not recognized under the British law, or the law of blasphemy did not give protection to Islam, there was nothing could be done. The court said the law of blasphemy gives protection to Anglicans only. And that is the reason why the campaign by the UK Action Committee at that time, and subsequently we've all been campaigning that the law of blasphemy should be abolished, and a new law on vilification should be applicable for all the faiths as well. So of course then we will take the culprit to the court of law and hopefully seek redress.
Thank you. Question from the sisters, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Huma Sheikh and I'm in grade 8. My question is, what fundamental principles and morals does the Ummah lack which enables outside forces to perform acts of vilification and nothing constructive or unified is done about it?
Yes, I think it's a very, very, very good question. When the opposition or the Islamophobes look at the state of the community, and when they see we are weak, they pounce on us. And in 1988, when this book was commissioned, the state of the affairs of the Muslim community in Britain and in many other non-Muslim countries was, if I would say, not strong. We were a scattered community, no centralized understanding of issues, and anybody who could attack us or create mischief would get away, because unless there is a concerted attempt, a concerted effort, then the people who are, the culprits who want to attack will think twice. The best example I can give you is the Jewish community in the UK. Very well organized, very well funded, very well resourced, well represented in the parliament, well represented in the judiciary, in the civil service, in the civil society, everywhere they are there. Nobody dares say anything wrong against them, because the day they say something, messages will come across and they will be stifled. So the answer is simple. We need to be part of the mainstream. Islam is a mainstream religion. The teaching of Islam is part of the way of life that benefits the society at large. The true message of Islam. And therefore, we have to be in every sphere of the national life of a country. Whether it's in politics, whether it's in civil service, whether it's in the police force, wherever. We are part of it. When you are there, then these people who want to attack us will think twice. Because then, alhamdulillah, we are strong. Our efforts will be coming from different forces and we'll be able to resist and deal with it in much more strategically and a better way.
Jazakallah.
From the brothers, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Dr. Nadeem and I work in Saudi Arabia. My question to you is, brother, as per yesterday's talk by Brother James E., there is gross violations, insult and abuse of not only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also his religious book, that is the glorious Quran, and Prophet Muhammad, may peace be on him. Why the world, especially the Islamic world, is silent?
You mean to say the attack on Islam? These are the violation of Islamic sanctuaries. Yes. And why is the Islamic world silent? Yes, brother, this is very similar to the question posed by our sister earlier on. that when we, not just the community, when the Muslim countries are weak and where they have lost the sense of direction, the iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the trust in his teachings, the Holy Quran, and following the traditions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we are following other methods, other ways, and this is proved over the years. Since the end of the Khilafah in many of the countries you would have seen have simply disappeared. The answer is very simple. When you lose the sense of purpose of your existence, we should each individually and collectively question, there's a purpose of us on this earth, why we have been brought in. And if we are not able to accomplish that mission of ours, then the other issues of being thus in the world for the materialistic purposes is temporary. So the gain that we suffer will come up to a time when you will enjoy it and then it will disappear. But the long-term benefits is whether you are individual, a community, or a country. The same principle applies. And it is tragic that you are right, that somehow there isn't the power, the strength to resist or attack or protect yourself against such abuse.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallahu khair.
We have no more time for questions. MashaAllah. Jazakallahu khair for our speaker for such an eloquent talk.